against a team that emphasized screening and spacing so much. And Steve Alford, in my estimation, the greatest player of all time in terms of using the screen, utilizing the space, and coming off open for shots.
How often did you see him, though? Because he hung around the wing.
Yeah. I saw flashes. Not that he was that quick, but his screens were so good.
Wills, nothing but net for the Lobo sophomore. And here's a kid who missed practice this week due to illness. Comes out on game day and knocks down a precious shot.
You see how they're switching all screens with Kamard? Very good strategy. You can only do that, though, if you have athletic wings.
BYU trying to cut into this 5-point advantage. The step back by Fredette. And the rebound, Jonathan Wills. Screen by Martinez. And Tavernari picked up Wills. And a timeout by Steve Alford. He wants to talk this one over as he'll use his 30 seconds.
Argument doesn't hold water to me because at the time Wake was number 2 and Arizona State was number 16. You know, what kind of schedule can you get above and beyond that? So I think BYU is very tough. I think everybody else knows too.
Tough indeed. And usually any coach that will start off with certain teams, they try to get a progressively more difficult non-conference schedule as you go on and get closer to your conference schedule. Helps to prepare you a little better that way. Ferris gives the ball out to Wills. And Danridge. It's around McGregor. Oh, a play by Tony Danridge. Unbelievable athleticism by the New Mexico senior. That's the good basket they wanted. Might not have been how he drew it up during the timeout, but the result's the same.
A classic baseline operator. Watch, stutter dribble, hesitation. Look where he leaves. He started his step outside the lane on the other side. We haven't seen that since Julius.
Rebound to Chad Toppert. And the shot clock's dead for the remainder of the half. Just under 20 seconds to go.
Do you think during that last timeout, Steve Alford mentioned a 2-for-1 opportunity to end the half?
Well, they're getting it. And Danridge hands off to Toppert. Toppert in trouble. Danridge lost the handle on it. Wills had it blocked by Fredette. But a tremendous first half for the New Mexico Lobos. In the first half, Kamard is a player who averages over 18 a game. So a difficult start for Lee Kamard. That's one thing they need out of him is better play, at least on the offensive end of the second half. Tony Danridge, 8 points in the first half for the Lobos. Jimmer Fredette and the Cougars with the ball to start the second half of play. And Kamard, wraparound pass to Miles. A scramble on the floor, held ball, and the possession arrow pointing in favor of New Mexico.
You know, 1 year ago, there is absolutely no doubt that the second half would have started with some offense going inside to Trent Plaisted. He's obviously not here, so in many ways that post game is a little bit unsure right now if you're a BYU player.
Doris Gary with the basketball. Ramon Martinez gives it to Ferris. Ferris. Pass back outside. And again, a scramble for the ball. Martinez. Rebound inside by Danridge, and he picks up the foul.
And I can't emphasize enough the importance of that offensive rebound. Why? BYU is so fast in transition. If you are able to slow the pace by getting offensive rebounds and shooting free throws, then BYU can't do the thing that they do best, and that's that 81 points a game, mainly off of transition points.
That's the first free throw the Lobos have missed in this game. 5 for 5 in the first half from the line.
BYU, they're a very good half-court offensive team. They are outstanding in transition.
Kamard guarded by Danridge. Miles back out to Fredette. Fredette draws contact and scores. Jimmer Fredette has a great habit of being able not only to get into the paint, but to draw contact. Scores the basket. Now he'll have an extra.
Well, he has a really uncanny ability to get to the paint. And remember, when he was in high school, he was a point guard. He came to BYU and was forced to play the shooting guard position. There was an injury in this building on this court last year that allowed him to start his point guard college career.
And Fredette with 12 points. Second foul on Daniel Ferris, by the way. And Danridge had it blocked. And Lee Cummard paid the price, hitting the midsection. Jackson Emery, the wraparound, and Miles wasn't ready for it. That'll go out of bounds, back to the Lobos.
All right, let's see if Cummard gets hit in the midsection or possibly below. Ouch.
The left knee to the solar plexus. Might hear that on WEC. Here on Versus. Ramon Martinez, now McDonald. And Tavernari in position to get the rebound for the Cougars. Miles all alone for two. They just lost Chris Miles underneath. Good pass by the guards.
At 6'10", 235. How do you lose that guy?
Well, you don't need a GPS to find him, that's for sure. Danridge at the back rim that time, and Jackson Emery trying to run it out for the Cougars. Trailing by 3.
The first couple minutes of the second half shows the message at halftime. Dave Rose is clearly trying to close the paint and make the Lobos shoot from deep.
Looking blind pass by Fredette, and Miles hammers it home right over Daniel Ferris.
Let's be honest, the referees are letting both sides play. The home crowd didn't like the no call. These guys have 8 seconds of freedom. You push it as fast as you possibly can. You run the court as hard as you can and do whatever you want. If you don't get the quick hitter, then all of a sudden you run your half-court offense. And I have become such a huge fan of the game of Jimmer Fredette. He passes the ball so well, so much better than I would have ever anticipated.
He does it without looking at the target. McDonald fouled on the way up. He'll have a pair of free throws.
You know, back to Fredette. Coach Rose knows that when this kid came, he had a reputation as a big-time scorer, and he had high expectations. He told me before the game he's not at all surprised to see him be able to run a high-level offense this way. The ball handling is exceptional. The understanding about spacing, and I guess the bottom line is that their offense is the best in terms of efficiency in the Mountain West Conference.
Charles Aburo gets the ball inside, and Miles delivers the errant pass out of bounds, and the Lobos will have possession again.
It looked like Tavernari could have grabbed that ball, but he anticipated that it was going to be off of a Lobo, his mistake.
Danridge up top, Ramon Martinez. His grandfather played in the Olympics. 1936 in Berlin, representing Mexico, and the bronze medal.
And basketball?
Basketball. Aburo got a hand on it. Now Martinez regained possession for New Mexico. Ferris now doubled on the post. McDonald. And Cummard creating space and getting the rebound. Tavernari for 3. He'll get his own rebound and kicks it back out. Fredette will try the 3, and he's caught it.
He was posing, wasn't he? Wow. He looked like a statue.
Isn't that basketball's version of the Heisman? Big big three-point shot ties the game, and Ramon Martinez unties it with a three of his own. What a game today at the pit. Zabullo. He is harassed in the corner, and New Mexico makes the steal. Gary fouled hard by Lee Kamard. 15:33 to go in the second half. It's the Lobos by 3 on Persons. Last 20 meetings, 6 in a row. Daniel Ferris, a senior, knows how important this one is. A three-point lead at this point in time. 15:33 left. Doris Gary will be at the free throw line, fouled by Lee Kamard. Kamard's third personal foul.
Number 3 in conference assists. A high-quality player with a very special understanding about how to run an offense. I know that he had a little stretch in his season that was bumpy, but he's back on his game, and that's going to be very important. Remember, BYU's going to turn up the heat defensively. They need Gary to get them into their offense.
Lead back to 5 for New Mexico. Jackson Emery with the basketball, trying to feed McGregor on the post. Abua to Fredette. Tabernari trying to create some space. Abua going to the basket. He'll score. Good looking play by Charles Abua out of Brewster Academy in Wolfboro, New Hampshire.
Coming off his career high of 10 points last game.
Brewster Academy is a place a lot of coaches like to hide prospects. Nothing to hide there from Ramon Martinez. He comes up with another big bucket.
Danger zone. BYU needs to keep touch right now. And so far, they're doing it without Kamar.
Wow, high-low, and McGregor wide open for 2, and it's a 4-point lead. McGregor's having a very good game. 6 points for him. 8 points, check that. And ever since Ferris got to 13, he hasn't had anything since.
Isn't that funny how that works? A guy gets into the feel-good zone, he's rolling, and that halftime can actually be the freezer that shuts down their offense.
Abua for 3. Way overshot. They're letting him hear it here at the pit. Gary, 3. Rebound Fredette. Boy, Jenna Fredette. Get the rebounds too. That's the second one. Emery open look right over Ferris. McGregor with a great rebound. He's fouled. And McGregor gives them a great post presence off the bench, backing up Chris Miles. McGregor from Ridgecrest, California native.
Well, McGregor is the backup 5, and he can really play. He's pushing Miles for minutes. I know he has what you call average skills with the ball, but a lot of his game is rebounding, defense, and effort, and there's always a spot. And let's keep an eye on Lee Kamard. We keep waiting for that breakout performance in this contest. I think he's had a hard time with all the switching defenses by New Mexico.
Morgan. Kamard. Back for Morgan. Rebound, Chad Topper.
And one thing you'll notice a lot from New Mexico, on the strong side, a lot of dribble drive, and they set a lot of good screens away from the ball.
It's back-rimmed it, and Tabernari comes up with the ball again, his 5th rebound. Here's McGregor. Now Kamard trying to get around Ferris. McGregor with a tap out. Tabernari for 3. And McGregor, another rebound. A foul is called as McGregor went to the basket, and he'll go to the line.
Yeah, +5 on the glass this year for the Cougars. I was really surprised to see them out-rebound Wake Forest. Definitely a priority. And, you know, a lot of times when they start living at the three-point line and they're not hot, those long rebounds are great opportunities for loose ball scores.
That's a new career high for McGregor, 9 points. Prior high was 8 against Colorado State. So Gavin McGregor contributing significantly. 6'10" senior. With some substitutions as Danridge has sat down. Jonathan Wills has come in. Will Brown also in. And Ferris sitting down with the foul just committed, his third.
That Plaisted is gone, but if McGregor and Miles can produce somewhere in the range of 12 points, 6 or 7 rebounds, then the loss is not that big.
Well, Garth threw the pass to Jonathan Wills, who was trying to communicate to a teammate down near the paint. And the ball went behind him and out of bounds.
Is that the no-look pass? He probably should have been looking.
It's more like the no-look catch. No catch. Well, he looked when he passed it. It's when you wish the ball was on a string and you could pull it back. Toppert the rebound for the Camard miss. A big possession here for New Mexico. 3-point lead. Catch and shoot. Hits. Chad Toppert into double figures with 10 points. Five-point advantage for New Mexico. Jackson Emery gets the pass to McGregor, who's having a huge game. 11 points for the big center. And defensively, with Ferris out, there's not much of an answer for McGregor.
And offensively, they're not having that post game too. So Ferris out makes New Mexico a lot different.
Martinez from the baseline knocks it down. And he's into double figures. Roman Martinez has been lights out shooting here in the second half. He's got 11. And a big rebound. Toppert, 3. Martinez another rebound. What a second half he's played.
Yeah, Steve Alford played in the NBA for Golden State and Dallas. He loves the motion game, but he also has an affinity for some NBA set plays.
Same spot for Chad Toppert. And Dave Rose has to call a time. Played last year. Games they played last year, only 23%. Toppert in the game here at the Pit was 0 for 5 in that one.
Now, the important stat to watch down the stretch, BYU is #1 in the conference covering the 3. Has not mattered so far to Chad Toppert.
Miles is back in, and Will Brown picks up the foul. Brown, the freshman from Dallas, Texas. 60-51, New Mexico with the lead over BYU.
Reality. If you're playing against New Mexico, if you let them catch and run their offense, that's a major problem. Their spacing and passing is very good. Look, they're still young on the perimeter. I'm not sure that New Mexico likes physical play. I have not seen the same defensive effort from BYU as what I anticipated.
Daniel Ferris on the bench with 3 fouls right now. Miles had it swatted out of the air by Will Brown, but a foul is called on the play. Foul is going to be whistled on Jonathan Wills, his second personal.
I would imagine that coaches throughout the Mountain West Conference are going to be making sure they take a close look at this tape on how to keep Lee Camard to 1 for 6 from the field. Not many people have been able to slow him down.
Chris Miles, a 46% free throw shooter. He has struggled at the line. Junior from right there in Provo, Timpview High School.
Around 7 points per game, and when I watch him move, I just feel like there's something else there. He's capable of more offensive production than what he's shown.
So it remains a 9-point lead.
Here's that zone, 2-3.
Toppert's on the spot of the floor where he likes to be, but notice Tavanari came up on help defense with Fredette. Garth back for Toppert. Brown lost the handle. Shot clock down to 3. Garth has to fire it. Fresh shot clock. Brown will throw up the shot. He's got it. That's a lot of want-to right there from Will Brown. Points the lead and a whistle before the shot. And it's going to be whistled against Jonathan Wills, his third. How about Will Brown at the other end? A strong rebound putback.
This is the play of the game so far right here. Will Brown's productivity has been soaring the last 4 contests. And why? Look at, there's Ferris on the bench. If they can keep this lead with Ferris out, they're in golden position.
Camarda to miss. Camarda's 1 for 7 from the field.
The significance of this game, Tim, BYU is the only undefeated team. There are 5 teams with 1 loss. Things will tighten up greatly if New Mexico can hold on.
New Mexico holds on. There'll be a lot of coaches breathing a sigh of relief in the Mountain West. And Miles and Tavernari were in there, and the foul is going to be called on Chris Miles. Dave Rose, whose team has been perfect on the road so far. Best start since the late 80s. Since just after he finished at Houston.
Yeah. Phi Slamma Jamma. Guy Lewis. You can really see the influence on Dave Rose with the pace of their play. 6-0 record against New Mexico.
Last time New Mexico won was in March of 2005 at the Mountain West Conference Tournament at the Pepsi Center in Denver. Tavernari, he hits the long 3. That quiets the crowd down for a moment.
Did you ever hear 16,000 people go hush so quickly?
Well, we're about 37 feet below the surface of the earth here in the pit. That's why it's called the pit, but the force of everybody sitting down at once, we might be 37.5 feet now. There's a shot by Danridge. He hits another big one.
And they're back.
And they're back with authority. Inside, going to be on Will Brown as he was all over Chris Miles. And that's the 7th team foul, 3rd foul on Brown. So an important thing to note, with 8:16 to go, BYU already in the bonus. When you're trailing and you have an opportunity to score with the clock stopped, that is a big, big thing. Live from Montreal, it's All-Star Weekend on Versus. Saturday, hockey's Hot Shots show off their version of slam dunking at the Honda Super Skills competition. And next Sunday, Ovechkin, Crosby, Taves, Lidstrom, and the biggest stars on ice collide at the NHL All-Star Game. It's All-Star Weekend live on Versus. And Daniel Ferris back in.
And we have a line change.
Over the boards comes Daniel Ferris. Well, he does play center after all.
I would go right to Ferris. I mean, not out there, but I would go to him in the low post.
Well, Ferris is playing around the high post at this point in time. Danridge trying to get to the basket, and Tavernari's whistled for a foul. And we've got a timeout on the floor. 7:59 to go in this one. It's an open Tuesday against TCU. And 3 points. That's all he has at this point in time. Very un-Lee Kumard-like, a guy who put his name in the NBA draft after last season, pulled out in time to come back for another year.
Probably a 2nd-round pick at this point in time. The NBA does watch him very closely.
So New Mexico trying to extend their 11-point lead. Garth inside, and a two-handed hammer. Daniel Ferris with 15 points. Largest lead of the game at 13.
And it's a beautiful thing when a coach comes out of a timeout, his players execute, and they get the dunk.
They're in transition now. They'll slow it up. BYU off the miss, and Nate Garth delivers to Ferris. And a steal by Lamont Morgan.
Yep, he got away with the double dribble, too.
Cuts the lead to 9. Now you're behind in this situation. Looks like they're going after the ball a little bit more, being a little bit more aggressive on defense, taking some chances. And Fredette trying to cut the lead again for BYU. Tavernari started the play with a rebound. Here's Kamar traveling.
You know, talking to Dave Rose today, it's ironic that he was talking about the balance and the consistency of Kamard, saying that the thing that separates him is very seldom can you shut him down. You know, his scoring is right on the money, and even though he hasn't scored today, he still has 5 rebounds, 3 assists.
Rebound, Jackson Emery. Luke Kamard needs 19 points to match what he did last time out at 22. He's a ways away from that.
I'm noticing more ball pressure and increased effort on the defensive end by BYU.
Luis Garrett and Tavernari, another rebound. His 6th. Great pass by Kamard, but Jackson Emery couldn't handle it. Went right through his hands.
Oh, but that's a tough one to handle because of the side spin. It was low, it was very, that was the short hop. You know, kind of in between there. What do you think about Utah, UNLV next Saturday? Looking forward to it.
And the UNLV's had a couple of tough losses in a row against TCU and Colorado State. They'll have to deal with the 7'2" center Luke Neville for Utah. We'll be with you a week from today from Las Vegas for that one. Ramon Martinez run the clock down a bit.
20 seconds of dummy offense, then go to work.
Ferris foul on the way up. McGregor got him.
Now we put out an APB looking for Daniel Ferris after 13 points in the first half, and maybe the most impressive part of his game is the trickery, but also the use of both hands. As the season goes on and he continues to grow offensively, teams around the conference are going to have to explore that double team to get him to pass the ball.
16 for Ferris right now. Lead to 12.
He's been suffering from a case of laryngitis. He's felt fine, but he lost his voice and couldn't really talk, and in many ways it hurts New Mexico's defense because he's the back line. He's got to be able to shout out defensive instructions. It's almost like your safety in football.
McGregor sits, Miles back in. McGregor with only 2 fouls. Fredette baseline jumper. Rebound, Ferris. It's 3rd of the game. How does the philosophy change when you're up by 13 with 5 minutes to go?
Well, you're just more patient. They're going to work off some clock, let it go, and then really, rather than a 35-second shot clock, it's more like they've got a 12-second shot clock.
Tavernari with the steal. And who did it go off? The officials check.